In 1940, the Nazis made this propaganda documentary called The Eternal Jew. And I think a lot of people should watch it, not because I'm being pro-Nazi or whatever. Watch that, then watch The Great Global Warming Swindle. And see the immense progress made in the area of propaganda fiction, right? Well, propaganda movies, propaganda documentaries. Because The Eternal Jew just gives you statements that probably align with someone's political narrative. Whereas The Great Global Warming Swindle, I think it's like the best propaganda documentary you can find on anything, where it spends the entire story trying to convince you that global warming, not that it's not real, but it's hyper-exaggerated, right? And it makes it feel like the Kyoto Report isn't that great and isn't that special and blah, 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 blah. And sure, there's lies there, but it's a very specific doctoring of the truth. Like, Al Gore did make a very dumb documentary. He didn't create a very good explanation of what global warming is. So he was weak. And the response to people basically denying global warming was, well, here's the actual thing that I believe in, instead of, well, here's me trying to convince you. It's like a precursor to the woke era. People don't really try to argue, they just argue at someone whenever global warming comes up, right? So if you were trying to actually argue with them, actually trying to change their mind, you'd be like, here's the 3 charts that show that the 3 simulations of the Kyoto Report. One is, what if we did all the measures that the Kyoto Report wants? What if we did none of them, and one where we did some of them, and some of them is what actually happened, and here's the chart, and here's the chart of what actually happened. Then you'd go, well, you're showing me something in some island with some plant there, and your logic doesn't make any sense, because what are you even saying? What is this? Like, no, you haven't explained the biome, you haven't explained this and that and blah, blah, blah. But we know that the ocean has been rising because Britain spends X amount of hundreds of millions of dollars to shore up its shoreline because of the rising oceans. There are like literally thousands of places around the world that are specifically monitoring the sea. People could predict the behavior of tides for the most part since like more than 100 years ago. This is like an example of actually arguing with someone on global warming, right? Like, whereas people talking about global warming usually go, well, here's the thing, blah, 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 facts about the consequences of global warming, without actually listening to the propagandist's point of view. And I think it's very important to watch propagandistic documentaries to get a sense of, okay, what's the outline? Okay, how did it evolve? Okay, how are they structured, blah, 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 so that you can tell when someone is lying to you or someone is trying to twist and manipulate the truth, you know? Also, you know, it basically just outlines the Nazi mindset. So you can now tell whether your Nazis are realistic or not. But basically, it is an interesting thing to watch when you're trying to imagine something, if you want to write a Nazi into a story or whatever. I think it can improve people's writing if they do, in fact, revisit the Nazi documentaries and get a better sense of what an actual Nazi is. You see, an actual Nazi, when you're convicted because of the thing you are. Whereas if you're a communist, when you're convicted, you have to philosophize and explain why you were convicted. There's a distinction between mentalities. You're not just Gestapo the Nazi and Gestapo the SSSR, or Gestapo the fascist American government. There are specific ways that things are shaped, the specific patterns of logic there.